104.1 KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Roula and Ryan Show with Eric, featuring Special K and Sam.
Okay, I want to remind you guys about 20 minutes. We're going to take your calls on True Crime Tuesday. Man, you guys have been knocking it out of the ballpark the last couple of weeks.
3 weeks in a row? Can we get it going?
Unbelievable stories of how you were connected to crime.
Crime in people's lives here in Houston.
Remember, it could be you were one time the criminal. You could call in.
You
Right.
were
I mean,
victimized.
you've
you
definitely,
witnessed it.
Or it didn't
Came
even happen
close.
in this state. It happened in another state, and you've moved here, and that's what happened to you back then.
Your neighbor ended up being a serial killer, or you dated a serial killer, or
Ooh,
Oh,
murderer.
it's so nice.
Had
What was
a lot
that
of
weird
that.
smell in the garage?
Yeah, it's weird. A lot of lime
All right.
laying
So,
around.
y'all hang out for True Crime Tuesday because now it's time for. Can we do the song? Yeah.
It's Try It Tuesday on the Roula Ryan Show. It could be super weird, it could be super gross.
Hope not.
We'll take it to the face. Grab a garbage just in case. Just try it. Just try it.
KRBE.
Yeah, we've
Okay.
needed that garbage can a few times.
But not today because what I smell in the room
Or is it?
smells great. I didn't know if it was savory or if it was sweet, but it smells sweet.
Now, it is April Fool's. I hope we're not being misled here.
I don't know nothing about this. I was just told to grab it from the fridge this morning.
I
Okay.
was at a remote the other day, an appearance at Burlington Coat Factory with Midiana, one of our fabulous promotion staffers. And she indicated that during Lent, there are specific dishes that are consumed in the Latin community that I should think about trying instead of having I think it was a Friday, instead of having a hamburger that night.
Okay, so no meat during Lent.
Right. So you want to, on Fridays, I believe, Rula, you're supposed to avoid eating meat.
Well, a lot of people do Fish Fridays during Lent.
All right,
For the
yes.
40 days
We-
of Lent.
we used to
They
do that as
Fish
kids.
Fridays.
That's why Arby's, everyone has a fish sandwich now.
Filet-O-Fish. Fried cod sandwiches everywhere.
That's a good steak.
Fish Friday. Some people, like the Greeks, go hardcore. It's supposed to be like 40 days of like no meat, no blah, blah. My mom used to make us stick to that when I was a
40
kid.
days and
Honey,
40
let me
nights?
tell you, as a child, I was really mad. I couldn't have ranch. Couldn't have pizza with pepperoni and cheese.
Wait, you couldn't have ranch?
Why
Because
not
ranch has
ranch?
dairy in it. It was milk.
Oh, so it's vegan.
It was the way my mom was raising us. It was like a hard fast. It was no milk. It was no meat. It was no dairy, and she
What
made
about
us
eggs?
stick to it. Eggs were questionable depending on the day or whatever.
That comes from a chicken.
So now that I'm an adult,
my.
So what is this called?
God forgive me, I'm just doing the Monday through Friday.
Capirotada.
Capirotada.
And that translates-
Capirotada.
Yeah.
What does that translate into?
Carp pieces.
It's Mexican bread pudding. It's made with
Ooh, that sounds
layers
good.
of
Oh, that does
bread,
sound good.
raisins, sometimes bananas, almonds, and it says cheese because do we have a picture of
So
this?
that is
It
cheese.
looks like cheese, and I asked Ahmad, "Is that cheese?" Where the raisins are in the cheese.
Oh.
It almost looks like a lasagna with raisins.
Who made this?
Right?
Midiana.
Does it not look like meat
Midiana.
sauce and cheese with raisins? It
Yeah.
looks like meat sauce and cheese with raisins,
Yeah.
but it smells like a cinnamon roll. Delicious.
Yeah, yeah.
The cheese is throwing me off, but I know
Right.
that people eat like apple pie with cheese.
Smells good.
Why raisins, though?
Well, raisins are delicious.
Raisins are
bread
yummy.
pudding.
No.
Usually has raisins in it.
Yeah.
Raisins.
So we're going to
pick it
cut
out.
this up
Right.
and we're going to have something
Here it goes.
delicious.
I'll
I
just
am
take a
going to
spoon.
bet this is delicious. But the cheese is throwing me off. So we're all going to just take a scoop out of this thing, try and get all the layers.
All right.
Because my brain is telling me this is refried beans with meat like an enchilada.
Beans
That's what my
and
brain
cheese
is telling
and
me.
sweets.
Right.
It
kinda
looks like
that,
an
yeah.
enchilada that is layered with raisins.
Do you want
That's
to pull
what
up
it looks
the?
like.
You want to pull up the ingredients online?
I got it right here.
Okay.
Capirotada. Not to be confused with the delicious Brazilian alcoholic rum beverage, caparina, or whatever that is.
Caipirinha.
Caipirinha,
Yeah,
whatever. Capirotada. It is, like I said, it's made with bread, raisins. Sometimes there's almonds, there's bananas, there's cheese, and it's all soaked in a sweetened, what does it say here? Eric's already trying it. It looks like you like it.
I do like it. It's just weird for me at first.
The cheese, how's the cheese? How's the cheese
see.
treating you there?
And the cheese, I don't really taste it.
You don't taste the
You
cheese.
don't taste the cheese.
Cheese.
Okay, so it's
Not
usually
standalone.
soaked in a
It smells
sweet
good.
syrup, often made with cinnamon, cloves, topped with ingredients like raisins, nuts, and cheese. Okay,
That's really
so
good.
I'm gonna have my bite also. I wish I had a picture of this
That's
bite.
really good. Somehow the
Can I
cheese
show it in
works.
the camera? I'm gonna show it in the camera because it looks to me like a spoonful of an enchilada. like a layered refried bean enchilada.
When you
with raisins.
described this with the cheese, I was like, oh no, but it actually works together.
As long as you get the bottom part with the doughy.
I got all cheese.
Oh,
You gotta cut through
yeah, I
it.
went deep down in the bottom and got that.
It's
cinnamon
rich,
taste.
I'll say that much.
It's very rich.
It's like a bread
Sweet
pudding.
and cheese is not going for me right now.
No, the cheese is
I don't
ruining
mind
me.
it. I don't mind it.
Because I eat honey with cheese and like charcuterie boards.
You had to cut
Yes.
through the cheese. Like,
Are you
to get-
sure it's cheese?
Let me do another
Yeah,
spoonful.
what kind of
Hold
cheese
on, let me
is
try
this?
this.
Some people are saying you don't put cheese in it.
Is Midiana listening? Midiana, if you're listening, is this?
Capirotada.
Yeah, or call us and tell us what it is.
I asked her to come up, and she was like, "No, I'm good." So maybe she is pregnant.
I would give it a thumbs up, but I will say a little goes a long way. It's very filling.
They
It's
say you can
rich.
use challah bread for this. You can use French bread. A lot of people use the bolillo rolls, the Mexican bolillo rolls.
I can
Yeah,
see
those are
that.
good.
And that's what soaks it. Because bread pudding is that. Bread pudding is you soak that in cream and cinnamon and all these spices. Now, I got to get to the middle here because I took the corner.
That's what I did too.
Okay, I took the
I
middle.
like cheese.
Maybe that's why I'm
let,
not.
Let me do the middle because
middle
maybe
part.
that's going to be a different vibe for me and Sam.
And Midiana
I'm
also
trying to get all the layers.
indicated that depending on what region you're from, it is made differently. So if you're texting us and saying that it may have improper ingredients, just remember that maybe your family makes it different than
Yeah,
another
Right.
family.
like Thanksgiving, people make different
Yeah.
green bean
And we did
casseroles.
warm it up. Someone said, I only like it warm. It is
Yeah.
warm. I love
but
the idea.
that middle one was cold. That's why I made that face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't taste like
Give me the
like the
edges.
roof of my mouth. You taste like a slick.
Yeah, slick.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I can see if I.
But ever eat this again? No.
maybe
If
a
it
little
was
less
served,
cheese.
if I was at a dinner and somebody served it, I would eat it.
Yeah, I'd
would
take
I
a little
seek
bite.
it out?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
but-
a little less cheese, and it's like delicious bread pudding that we are
Yes.
used to.
I'd rather
Absolutely.
have banana
Yeah.
bread pudding or something.
Oh, that's
Or I should just make us monkey bread.
oh yeah.
I like
the
that, too.
cinnamon
God, I
pull apart
love-
bread in the bundt pan. You make it in the bundt pan.
Yes.
That's so good.
That every
So-
Christmas.
I never made one before.
Really?
Joe balls.
Every Christmas.
It's big in soul food, but I've never had it.
what?
Yeah.
Like soul
Make me
food?
some monkey bread.
Maybe I'll
soul food. Yeah, it's a
I'll-
big dessert.
I'll try and make it when my parents are in town. Because
Okay.
my mom really loves it. And then I can try and bring it in.
Or just make it because you're bored and you have scissors
Roula,
and
I'm
biscuit
never
mix.
bored.
You want to give it
I
to us?
have a toddler and I'm trying to survive this pregnancy. I am
true.
not bored.
But he'd have fun making it and kill
Give
time.
Santiago something to do. Santiago,
if
here we go.
Santiago
Here's some
touched
dough.
this, none of y'all would eat it.
Well, you
Why
don't
is
tell
it-
us.
Yeah, don't
Here's
tell
what
us.
Santiago's going to do, y'all. Here, Misty, lick this. And then we're going to throw this in the bundt pan. That's what Santiago
It
would
like
do.
just like rolls
For
around your
2-year-old.
Matter of fact,
balls.
never mind.
Now, going
So it's
around the
capirotada, by
table,
the way. Capirotada, if you're just tuning in.
would
to the
y'all
Roula
give it
Ranch right now.
a thumbs up?
Yeah.
Let's give it a rating 1 to 10.
A little
10.
less cheese, and I give it a thumbs up. I'll give it a
What do you give it out of
7. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I give it a raisins on it, so it gets a 6.
No,
I picked
like
the raisin
raisins.
out.
I love
like
the raisins. I'll eat all the raisins.
Yeah, I'd eat all the
Kevin,
raisins.
what do you give it?
If it was sweeter, I would go higher, but I'm going to go with 7.
Well, okay. Sam, what do you give it?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
She wants
Sam
to
gives
say
it
a
a
5.
0.
She wants to say a
I know you're trying
Hey,
to be
there's no
polite.
bananas in it.
Remember,
You
you
could
gotta
have
work with
bananas.
I know. I'm glad there was no
True.
bananas in it. No, I don't know. The bite that I got was like straight up cheese, and that just threw me off because
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
If we had another spoon, you got to get the middle part, but milk
Yeah.
needs to be a little warmer. It's
A
much
little bit
better as a
warmer,
breakfast
yeah.
food.
I was eating my PB and
A little
J.
warmer.
pretty
Brian, what do you
sweet.
give it?
That's 7.
Ahmad?
7.5.
No, look at you. So if you're just tuning in, you can use cotija cheese, you could use queso fresco, you could use other types of cheese. It looks like there was like a shredded kind of blend on the top.
Panela.
Yeah, milk or cream is included in some recipes. Some use fresh fruits like or dried fruits like apples or apricots or dates. You could do pecans, almonds, walnuts. I'm glad that wasn't in there because I'm allergic to those, except for almonds. And raisins. I'm all about the
This is way better than that. What's that soup? Is it the tripe soup or
the menudo.
yeah?
Oh, I love menudo.
I can't do it.
I
Side
love
of
the
things.
chewy tripe in there.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Listen, I eat a lot of weird foods.
can't eat that.
But I can't eat
I feel like
tripe
they use
soup.
that in Greek
They
food,
do.
right?
In Greek,
Yeah.
Greek, it's called patsia.
I'll eat sushi all day. But I
Patsia
won't-
is tripe
It's so
soup.
chewy and good.
Oh,
There are things that Eric you've eaten because it
wanna think
tasted like
about
bacon.
that.
My dad, God rest his soul, used to make all those like lamb innards, and he'd wrap it in bacon.
Yeah, those are good.
And the bacon fat would drip all over like the
brain.
the
Sounds so
stuff.
delicious.
And it was
brains?
so good.
Yeah, goat
That
brain
sounds
or whatever.
really
What was
good,
No,
it?
it wasn't brain.
Was
We
it?
had heart
God,
and
no.
kidneys and the sweetbreads of the
Sweetbreads. That's what.
The sweetbreads
The neck?
wrapped in the bacon fat. Oh
Stop,
man!
that's-
And rotisserie over the grill. It was so.
What is
Sam,
the
so
weirdest?
delish.
Rolla, what's
Frenchie.
the weirdest animal body part you've consumed?
Ew, come on now.
I could not do the heart. I did a heart one time, like a lamb heart.
Remember we brought that tongue
And
in
it
here?
just was not okay.
Oh,
the tongue
the cow
also
tongue?
threw me.
What was
I
the
could
thing you
not
ate
do-
with
We did
the-
the tongue tacos here. Big
With the-
tongue tacos.
The whiskers.
Oh, that was
Pig
when
lips.
that was when
lips.
Mom
Pig
brought us
lips,
pig lips,
that
and that
was
was not okay
so
because the
foul.
whiskers.
You
And
gotta
Roula
eat it with
legit, I think,
Lay's
was the
chips.
only person that like went in. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
yeah,
You.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were the only person.
'Cause I
I
just
think
was
I
like,
was
let's just
pregnant
try
last
it.
time and I got out of it
Yeah.
again. So
Ahmad, how do you
And the lips.
How did you live? You look so healthy. All this crap you're eating back then growing up.
I started young, baby. In Louisiana, they have like a big jar of like pig feet and pig lips, like at the gas
The
station.
big feet, do you gnaw on them? I can't remember. Do you just, or do you?
Pig
But the
feet?
jar is like they're brined though; they're soft.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, pig feet, I know my family boils them like crab boil.
Yeah.
But you never-
But pig lip, it's like pickled in a jar.
I can't
But
with
the
the
pig
softness
feet-
of that.
How do you
I
eat
don't want to
that?
eat anything that's give me
It's
razor
like
burn.
The meat is it's not too much meat.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of meat.
I
work.
mean, I get like oxtail soup. I've had that where you boil
I
the
have had
oxtail
that, and I
and it's
didn't hate
delicious.
it, yeah.
But the pig lip thing, because it was pickled and soft and had whiskers, no, thank you. I could not
You got to
handle
eat it with the
whiskers.
Lay's chip.
But I am all about roast a pig and make the skin all crispy, crunchy, like it cracks off. I will be all over that all day long.
But I don't
the
understand
lips and the feet, I can't, or the
how
ears.
the feet. I don't understand how you could eat on something that you know has been walking through its own poop.
Well, they
Well,
clean
they
it.
clean it.
They clean
I mean,
it.
they-
You can't get it all out.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
There's
sure
like
when
a
you
whole
boil
process,
it-
Kev. When they do the
You get all
tripe, it's like that thing
bacteria.
that me and Eric ate at East
That's
of the
like saying,
Cocoretzi.
why are you,
I don't know about all of that now.
like, you're here and
Yeah.
you got things with poop.
Yeah.
Like, we all have a butt. It's like, you don't know that's your
you, Eric.
I'm just saying, no, you're going to
Where are
smell.
you going with this?
Yeah, where are
There
you
is
going
a
with
little
that?
I'm
bit
just
of
saying, you're
fecal
on here. It
matter and
doesn't smell in
everything.
here.
gonna
You
be
actually
sick.
clean
Now you're gonna
yourself.
make me barf.
You clean the
I
feet.
don't walk around and poop.
Guess what? They boil it.
It's an
They
awkward
kill all
situation.
bacteria.
Wait, you do walk around and poop if you're walking in a public restroom and your shoes
Yeah,
go in
your
your
shoes
house.
probably
It's on the bottom
covered.
of your
I
shoe.
know. Well, I'm not snacking on my shoes after it.
Don't you guys remember the story I did yesterday about the thief who stole the diamond earrings from Tiffany's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's put them
cleaned it
out.
off and they put it back on the shelf.
'Cause he
20%
swallowed
off.
them and they had to poop them out. So
Oh
they
my
clean them off.
gosh.
Well, capirotada. I mean, overall good.
Big,
Not crazy about the cheese.
7's not bad.
But it's good.
No.
That's
And
fine.
thank you, Midiana.
Thanks, Midiana, for making
Midiana.
that.
Sweet of
All
you.
right. Coming up next, it is True Crime Tuesday, where you call us at 833-390-KRBE. You share a story with us about how you were connected to a crime or somebody in your family was. Maybe you were the criminal. The person in your family was a criminal, paid their debt to society, or they're still serving jail time now. You just never know. It's always the neighbor on the news. I had no idea that was going on next door. Were you the neighbor? Tell us your stories. Next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1.
KRBE is back to the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
Okay, guys, it's Try It Tuesday. It's also April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled. Don't get
It's
fooled again.
True Crime Tuesday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, we just finished Try It Tuesday. Yeah, Try It
True
Tuesday, April Fool's Day,
Crime
True Crime
Tuesday.
Tuesday. There's too many T's. I did say it so confident because I thought in my head.
I know. I was
Sam,
like, just let her have it,
I
Ryan.
was saying True Crime Tuesday.
Just gonna move
well,
past
people
it.
no,
call
if you
in.
hadn't said that, I would have thought I said True Crime Tuesday.
I said rated R for mature during my.
It's rated M for
And
mature.
nobody caught that on the re-edit.
I know,
Rated
I'm like,
R
oh,
for mature.
yeah, redo
Wait,
that one.
mature is spelled with an M. Things that we don't hear.
Rated
when
D
we're
for
saying them.
dumbass.
I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. Okay, Kara is up first at 833-390-KRBE. That is the number you're going to call, 833-390-KRBE, if you have a True Crime Tuesday story to report. And this story, guys, I want to tell you is I know it ends in a movie. In a movie.
Oh,
the
wow.
story's about to tell us turned into a movie.
Okay.
I've got to know what happened. Kara, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good
morning.
morning.
So what is the story that you have that you're connected to?
Okay, so I have an uncle, a great uncle. Back in the 80s, he was a janitor at the local high school down here.
Mm-hmm.
And these volleyball girls came and, they were doing the little game or whatever. And one of the girls went missing, and they ended up finding her in the bathroom, right?
Uh-huh.
Raped,
Like-
murdered. That
Murdered?
Oh, she was killed.
She was dead.
Good Lord.
She was raped and murdered, and she was found in the bathroom on the school campus
Oh, my
after a
God.
volleyball game.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my God, that is terrifying.
So they pretty much framed my uncle, and he spent 10 years in prison before he was exonerated. but he was on death row the whole time.
Wait. So he was falsely accused. He was not guilty of this crime.
Yes. He was not guilty.
How can we ask? How did they find out he's not guilty 10 years later? Did they finally get evidence? What happened?
So yes, so pretty much they had to go through a few lawyers or whatever, but they had about 3 months or so, 3 to 6 months before he was to be the lethal injection or whatever.
Oh, he was getting ready to die.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and they found out that for one, there was some evidence that was missing. For two, he couldn't have done it. He wasn't even in the area. Like it was a lot of different things that finally came together. But yes, it took 10 years for him to get out.
What was that piece of evidence? Was there DNA that exonerated him?
Yes, there was they found pubic hair that was red, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that didn't add up to him being the killer.
Now, did the government pay for him when he got out for 10 years? Did he get some money?
Because we hear that a lot. Somebody who was falsely accused gets some kind of monetary compensation for being falsely accused.
Because he was robbed of a decade.
No compensation, no apology, no compensation.
Oh.
And family is actually still trying to get that wiped off because it's you already proved that he wasn't guilty. You let him out. But yeah, he ended up going in there. Child support that he had went into arrears. It was crazy.
Ruined his life.
But you told Ahmad, Kara, that they made a movie about your great uncle's story. What's the movie?
Yes, the movie is called Whitewash, and they also did an A&E special on it.
Okay.
We have to check this out.
Okay, and you know what? Speaking of A&E, y'all, when you go through your TV channels, you know how there's CNN and headline news. Headline news is not headline news. It's always stories like what Kara just told us.
Yeah, it's always
these murder stories of exoneration, all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's one of those I'd find on headline news.
What's hard too is if you Google these things about that person, this stuff pops up. These stories for her uncle. I bet. Did this happen in the Conroe area?
Yeah, where did this happen, Kara? Conroe. So for those just tuning in to True Crime Tuesday, Kara's on the phone. Her great uncle was a janitor at a high school there in the Conroe area in the 80s. A volleyball player went missing, and she was found raped and murdered on the campus of the school.
Did they find a murderer?
They pinned it on Kara's great uncle, who was the janitor. He went to jail for 10 years on death row, months from lethal injection. They exonerated him. But who was the murderer? Did they find that person, Kara?
No.
They did not.
Wow. Somebody got away with murder, literally.
Oh, my God. That is unbelievable, and I'm so sorry your great uncle had to go through that hell.
That's a lose-lose for everybody.
Yeah.
It is.
How do you recover from
They even
something
say,
like
I'm
that?
sorry. They even say apology, nothing.
And then the family that lost their daughter
Has no
they still
closure
can't find
because there's no murderer. That's insane.
And you always hear everyone says they're innocent in prison. No one's guilty.
No.
Right.
Nobody's
No one
believed
believed
to that.
My goodness. Okay, so it's True Crime Tuesday, and you guys have brought it for all these weeks, and y'all are bringing it again today. 833-390-KRBE. Courtney's up next. Hello, Courtney. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what's your story you'd like to share on True Crime Tuesday?
So my aunt was abducted from a gas station in 1978. She was sent. She had actually just turned 17. She was sent to get batteries and never came home.
Oh, no.
My grandparents were called and asked for ransom. And, of course, they agreed to pay it, but they never got a call back. So she just was gone. The person that was suspected to have abducted her is an infamous serial killer named Robert Carl Hohenberger.
What was that?
Robert Carl Hohenberger?
Yeah, Hohenberger.
Hohenberger.
And yes, he had been arrested for kidnapping and rape in California, but then he moved to Louisiana, which is where this happened. But whenever they arrested him, the police had him cornered, and he committed suicide. So they could never find her body.
Oh, that's awful. Nothing.
But he admitted to killing her, and that's how they knew where she was, that she was no longer alive.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is awful. I don't feel good.
Yeah, if you
after
Google,
that.
his name right there on Wikipedia. Wow.
How do you spell the last name?
Hohenberger.
Hohenberger.
How many?
Hohenberger.
Yeah. Do you know, Courtney, how many women he was actually guilty of killing? Do we know that information about him?
I do not. I know there were several that they assumed were him. He would put them in, there was one that it was actually a guy and a girl, and he had put them in, those big barrels, like oil drums.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's like a nightmare.
Yeah, this guy was
linked to 5 other ones in Morgan City.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading, and that he died in a hail of bullets.
Well, because she said he committed suicide when he was going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, Courtney, what a dark day for your family and life.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. She was the baby of the family too,
Oh,
of 5.
God.
And as a family, you're like, I sent them out to go get batteries, or you
Yeah,
hear
the ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs.
Can't play that game.
You can't.
No,
but
you
that's how
drive
you
yourself
live.
crazy.
And we've learned from talking to so many families who unfortunately have lost somebody to a crime or a murder that you live it every day. It doesn't. Time goes on, but the trauma of it does not.
No, the pain is
You're
always
constantly trying to
Look at all
keep
these
somebody in jail or get them
serial
off.
killers in the 70s to the 90s. Like, there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't hear about them as much now. Like,
Actually, that's a good point,
we
Eric.
always
We
talk about
don't.
crime is so much worse here now, but I'm like, I don't know. These serial killers were really big in the 70s and 80s.
Yes, think about it. I mean, was Dahmer in the 90s? Jeffrey Dahmer was discovered in the 90s?
Early 90s, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is very odd because now we just hear all these terrible news of like criminals and gangs and all that, but it's mostly like a one-time thing. They're not linked to like 12 different bodies around the country.
We've learned that 80% of murders go unsolved.
We did?
Yeah, I mean, you can look that stat up. It's true that most murders do not get solved.
How many serial killers are out there? You did a story on that once.
I don't remember that, but I was going to recommend if you want to watch a really, really good show on Netflix, it's called Mindhunter, because you said that, how did we not have this earlier? This is about the beginning.
I'm saying we have so many in the 70s and 80s. We don't hear about them as much now. Do you guys know many now?
No, I don't.
I can't tell you one in 2010.
I'm not following it.
No, but like in 2010, think about that. In the 2010s, is there a famous serial killer name from the 2010s?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't have that on my radar.
One was
no, I think
the
sadly
BK
it's
shooter
just
or
mass shootings,
BK
railway guy.
True, you're right, Sam. It's mass
Wasn't
shootings.
your wife scared of some railroad?
Oh yeah, the one on
railroad
West
guy?
Dukes. We bought a house. We're about to buy a house, but then she did the research and that railroad killer in West U. She's like, nope, it was like 2 blocks away from
Oh,
that.
wow.
I'm like, honey, that happened 10 years ago, and it's not going to happen again.
But people always, they always remember certain things.
We weren't getting the house where it happened.
We've got a caller standing by. Kevin is on the phone at 833-390-KRB. I say a caller, Kevin, because we have Special K in the room, but that's not him on the phone. Hi, Kevin. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi there. We're doing True Crime Tuesday for those just tuning in. What's your story?
So I'm from Chicago originally, and in the early or late 80s, my grandfather, he had just gotten a job promotion, and so he was bringing his new boss like a bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And on his way back out to his car, he was robbed at gunpoint, and went to pull out his wallet. The guy thought he was going to pull out a weapon, so he shot him and killed him. And the new boss ran outside to see what happened, and they shot him and killed him as well.
Oh, my goodness.
It was one guy, and his friend was the driver, and they were both convicted. One convicted of murder and one for, helping him. So the guy spent like 30 years in prison, but there was a police chief in Chicago who got associated with like torturing people into confessing. And so every crime ever solved by him, they reopened.
Oh, wow.
And
oh, my gosh.
The guy who was the driver, he was shot and killed the day before the new trial started. So they let the killer go. And they actually ended up they awarded him a certificate of innocence so he could never be tried for it again.
Oh.
And they gave him like $2 or $3 million.
This SOB. Wow. This SOB because he killed your...
And it's not like a mistaken identity like Kara's great uncle, like he was exonerated because he didn't do it. This guy actually did do it, but they had to retry him because of the faulty cop, the dirty cop, right?
Correct.
Oh, that's terrible.
Dang.
My goodness, and he got $3 million. My goodness.
I'm sorry. I mean, I would.
Goodness.
That is BS.
In Chicago.
Something hard to live with, that's for
In
sure.
the 80s, you said, right?
Yeah, it was like late 80s. That was before I was born. I'm 32, so I was born in 92. But, I heard my dad telling the story all growing up. And then the guy was released in like 2015, 2018 maybe.
And he's still he's still a piece of crap. You know he is.
So you watched what, Kevin?
I watched the guy on the news, and my dad was on the news. It was kind of weird.
Oh my God!
Is that guy still
That's
living in
crazy.
Chicago? Do you think, or that the?
I don't know. I know at the trial he had he had gotten married while he was in prison, so his wife was there. And,
Oh gosh, women who love
I don't understand that.
Lock
Women,
up love.
women that go for felons.
Gosh,
I mean,
Kevin. Okay, listen, Shayna. Y'all, Shayna gave a ride to the Unabomber and had lunch with him without knowing it was him.
All right, put her on hold, and we
Shayna, let me make sure she can hold on.
We can record
Shayna,
that.
can you hold on? We'll just got to take a quick break. We got to be right back. I got to know how
Let's
you
do it.
didn't know Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber.
That's huge.
Or like you
wow.
didn't realize the Unabomber was the Unabomber. I guess we'll get the whole story next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Wake up. It's KRBE and more of the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
All right, Shayna is staying by on the line because we wanted her to hold on.
Don't hang up yet.
We were doing True Crime Tuesday, and the Unabomber, his real name is Ted Kaczynski. And if you don't know the story of the Unabomber, this man would send bombs in the mail. Was it the 80s or the 90s, guys?
No, yeah, this is the
In the
90s.
90s.
And he was like a brilliant guy, too. I mean, there's a...
90s. 95.
And who would he
later.
send them to? Like politicians? Who was he killing? I can't remember who he was killing. But he
was-
sent
I
a lot of
believe it was
bombs in the mail,
federal government type.
like officials.
And all we had was that
The hoodie.
The hoodie
With the
and
sunglasses.
sketch.
That's all we ever knew.
Yeah, with a beard. So he had a beard, the aviator sunglasses, and the hoodie was the sketch. That's
There's a
all people
great-
knew about the Unabomber.
There's a great documentary on Netflix about it. So
Well, Shayna is on the line because there's a connection to her story to the Unabomber. Hi, Shayna. Good morning.
Hi.
Hey. Okay, how are you connected to this Unabomber situation?
So I'm originally from Montana, and my best friend growing up, her family went from Lincoln, where the Unabomber lived, or Ted, and they were going south to another area to go camping.
Okay.
And there was like a guy, he was hitchhiking, it was in the 90s, and they were like, what's the harm in this? And so they picked him up, they drove him about 2 hours to the other area.
hang on a second. Your phone's cutting out. They picked him up, and what happened?
They picked him up, they took him to about 2 hours where they were going. They dropped him off. They were like, hey, we're having lunch. Do you want to have lunch with us? He was like, yeah, that's cool. He sat down, ate lunch with them. They even took a picture with him.
Oh, dear.
And then they went on their merry way, and they went camping. And then about 2 months later, the FBI came knocking on their door, and they said, did you guys go pick up somebody who was hitchhiking? They were like, well, yeah, like we didn't realize that was a federal crime.
Right.
And they were like, well, it's Ted Kaczynski. And they were like, oh, my God. So my friend was like 6 at the time, and her older sister was 8. They were like, we had this guy around our kids.
And
What do you mean?
And you had the photo? Did you show him the photo?
Yeah, how did the feds even know
Yeah.
to find them to say you picked up this hitchhiker? How'd they even know that?
I guess they knew that he had been hitchhiking, and there was a report that he had gotten in a vehicle with somebody.
Somehow
So they
they
just kind of followed that report.
Man.
He lived off the grid for a long time.
He wasn't caught till 96.
Yeah.
And they said for 20 years he terrorized people with bombs in the mail. He killed 3 people, but he injured many others. Ted Kaczynski.
Right.
So then you're looking at the pictures. The parents of your friend are looking at these pictures, and they're like, oh, my gosh, those are our children in a booth with this man
That's creepy.
who has terrorized the nation.
What did they say about him when they talked to him? Did they remember saying much
They
about
were
him?
like, well, they were like, he was a pretty normal guy. Like, I mean, of course he was kind of weird. He was hitchhiking, but I mean,
Clear
overall,
sign.
he was pretty normal.
I mean, the fact that your
Sorry, the
friend's
way you said
parents
it.
with a 6 and an 8-year-old, like, let's pick up this stranger with his thumb out
Did
on
he
the road.
sit in the
a
middle
little
of the
different.
kids? Like, that seems safe. Hey, just crawl over Jimmy. It's fine.
Slug bug.
Yeah,
Just get
let's
right in the
go.
middle.
Come over, little Haley. Make
Yeah.
room for this guy.
Yeah, he doesn't
Kinda
need
smells
a
weird.
seatbelt.
99 bottles of bombs on the wall.
my
Sing me
God.
songs.
The thing is,
He's like,
He
no.
But
didn't
in my,
attack
like-
people individually. He sent these bombs. So he was never the type that would just
Right.
attack somebody for picking them up hitchhiking.
Right.
Wow.
And
That's
I mean, so Montana is like a very community driven place. I mean, we all, like you can pretty much walk anywhere and know somebody.
Yeah.
So they were just like, oh, it's a small town area. We're not super concerned about it. It's just this guy hitchhiking.
Now everyone's moving there because of Yellowstone and stuff. Everybody wants to go.
Because of a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Montana.
Looks fun.
Right.
Shayna, how long have you lived in Houston?
5 years.
Okay.
Oh, what brought you here?
There's no snow.
See, a lot of people will want to leave the snow. And I always say, you don't have to shovel heat. It's really hot here in the summer, but you don't have to shovel
Although,
heat.
we got snow a few months ago.
We did.
That was
Such a
January
nice snow.
17th. We had that ice storm.
Were you laughing, Shayna, at how happy we were over the
How
silliest
the whole
trip
city
to you?
shut down.
It's so great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Crazy.
It was awesome. Hey, take the free day off, right? Shayna, thanks so much for listening
Right.
to our show. We appreciate you. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Take
All right.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
True Crime Tuesday. By the way, Ted Kaczynski was sentenced to several consecutive life terms in prison without the possibility of parole. And in 2021, he received a cancer diagnosis. He decided to stop his treatments in 2023, and he died in prison. But he did not die from cancer. He committed suicide.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought wow, I didn't know that.
81 years of age.
So the series I'm talking about on
Crazy.
Netflix, it's called Manhunt, Unabomber. And it's really, really
That's
interesting.
one story
It's
that
a
never really grabbed me,
docudrama.
where I wanted to know, like, why. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just part of, like, pop culture history, murder history of America, this guy named the Unabomber. But it's not one of these stories that, obviously the crime does very well on all these different streaming platforms. We talk about crime documentaries do very well. But
Very
that one
well.
is not one that ever, like, intrigued me so much. I want to know more about Ted Kaczynski.
It's really fascinating.
You know?
The guy
Yeah.
was literally a genius, and how they ended up catching him.
But he's
was-
also schizophrenic, and that usually, if you're schizophrenic, you're also genius.
they caught him based on the letters. They were looking for patterns, and they broke it down. And I don't want to give away everything, but it is really.
Is that why he was hitchhiking a lot? Because he didn't
Yeah,
want
he didn't have a vehicle. He was completely off the grid. No
hard to catch him
electronics.
because he
lived
goes
at-
to the post office and delivers that.
Yeah, he would walk into
go
town,
to
get his
different post
supplies, and he'd walk back.
Working for the post office was not easy in the 90s.
That's for sure.
With all the
mail, and then
then
the early 2000s with anthrax in the mail.
Yeah, all
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And then people working there going,
Yeah.
And there's the reason the phrase "going postal" is
Yeah.
because the first shoot up of a workplace we heard in the
Was
news
that?
was at a postal worker. Which, by the way, sidebar, unrelated but funny. When you go on vacation, have you ever sent yourself a postcard from where you were?
No.
To meet
No.
you back at home.
No, you just
No.
put,
Wait,
you
say
just
this
put it in
again?
your bag.
In my 20s, when I would travel,
Right to yourself?
Hi, you.
I would buy
Hi, me.
a postcard where I was. If I was in Amsterdam, if I was in Italy, if I was in France,
Why
if I
wouldn't you
was
just
in
put
Greece.
it in your bag?
Well, it's not fun. You got to
Can
like
I
it home.
finish? Can I finish?
have it sent to you.
I would buy the postcard. I would say, hey, remember how awesome this time is. Bye. And I'd put it in the mail in France, in Greece, in Amsterdam, wherever. And when I got back from my trip, it didn't take just one day to get that postcard.
It took
It would
2
come in
weeks?
the mail, and I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. And then you'd see all those stamp postage from that other country on the postcard.
those lines that go.
Yeah, so I have this collection of postcards
Oh,
I
that's
sent
cute.
myself from different countries or different places.
You still do that, or do you?
No, I don't have to do it as much. The last time when we were in New York City with the kids for Christmas for their first time, they've got all those trinkets and stupid I Love New York things. And there was all these postcards. I go, that'd be kind of funny, but I'm too lazy to go find a post office.
You wanna
box
drop it
somewhere,
off?
like a mailbox. I don't know
Yeah,
where
and
it
they get a
is. People in
stamp.
New York are peeing on them now.
Especially in
I
New
don't know.
York.
Oh, my God.
New York, they don't want those around as much because bad things can happen.
Right, because they could
Put
just blow them
bombs
up
in
and
there, yeah.
stuff.
By the way,
Scary
the
stuff.
phrase going postal, it wasn't that they were attacked. It was actually a series of incidents where postal workers had committed mass shootings starting back in
Correct.
1986.
Not at the post office.
No,
but they were postal workers.
postal workers.
Yeah, stressed, and they went
Yes.
out and started killing.
And there was a repeat of Seinfeld on yesterday where Newman, who is a postal worker, says that or something. Somebody says something about going postal. And he goes, because then the machine backs up. And then it just back. You don't understand what
It's
happens when the
never
machine
ending.
backs
Like
up.
where I lived in Chicago, they'd catch twice a year. They'd find a a bunch of mail that the guy could not or girl could not deliver, and it backed up, and they stopped doing it for 2 weeks. You got a bunch of mail. What do you do?
That's crazy.
They just hit it, dug it in a hole.
Oh my gosh!
But think about
Grandma's checks went uncashed.
you get
That $5 check she sent you for your
back
birthday.
then in the 90s, 80s. That's when people actually got mail.
Oh my
That's true.
goodness!
Now you don't.
Hey, yo. It's time for What's Going Down in H-Town on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
Have y'all seen Hooters is actually filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection?
Hey, wasn't there a story they're trying to go like a cleaner image now or something?
Please, no.
No, that's not it. They did this as part of a plan to sell their company-owned
Is that
business.
April Fool's news?
No.
That's what I'm wondering because I saw that
This-
Kelly Clarkson's putting her money in it.
No.
Oh,
What
that's
they
gotta be
plan on
fake.
doing is selling it to a group of franchisees. The company expects to complete the bankruptcy process between 90 to 120 days. All Hooters restaurants will remain open during this restructuring, though the company said it's reviewing its operational footprint going forward.
Do we even have any left here, Kev?
Yes, of course I know where they are.
Yeah.
Where are they?
There's
Love
one heading down towards Sugarland.
Okay.
There's also one.
I know there's one out in Willowbrook.
Yes, I think that's all I can think of.
Where's the one did we go to after we golfed for my bachelor party?
That was the one in Willowbrook.
That one's still there.
I believe
That
so.
big one
yeah.
in Galveston. That's a nice big building.
It's
but
a
just
huge
empty.
Oh, I
building,
was
right
going to
down
eat there
61st.
after Moody Gardens, and then the old girl at Moody was like, "Yeah, they closed that down."
But what's going to take it over? We need something. Can Papacitos take it over? Like, what's going to take it over?
I know,
I just
We
want the
need
wings. I don't
something
need the-
amazing to
the
take over the
outfits.
Hooters space on 61st.
Salad and go-go.
It's right there. It's perfect because everyone knows.
It's huge.
It's
It
too
looks
big.
like it has lots of parking there. It's on the water on the bayside there, that little nook.
Oh yeah, it's on
You
that
know?
little mini
nice
pond
building.
lake
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Come
It
on,
always-
somebody.
It
Go
always
take
cracks
over
me
that
up.
building.
Whenever you see a new restaurant and it still looks like the old one, like Pizza Hut. I believe in the Heights, there's an Asian restaurant. Good food, but it's still shaped like the Pizza
I
Hut.
need to bring Pizza Hut back to its glory.
By the way,
Go
Eric,
and
Go
sit
there
down.
and sit down and the games and the cups that look like weird.
The
Red
red,
the
cup.
red cups.
The
Okay,
sit-down
somebody
Miss
needs to text us
Pac-Man.
then because over the week,
Bring
this
it back.
weekend, I was on. It's past Long Point. I don't know where on Gessner past Long Point. There's a Papa John's and a Pizza Hut literally next to each other. Like it is a jump from this door to this door. Papa John's to Pizza Hut on Gessner past Long Point on the right side, heading towards. I don't know what you end up in.
Does Papa John's house sit down?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's right before Hammerly. Oh, God, that's right next to my
Is that a
house out
sit-down
there.
one, Kev? Is
that
that
the
a
one-
sit-down restaurant?
No,
Pizza Hut?
no.
Oh, it's a grab and go.
it's grab and go.
But it looks freestanding, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! There's a Papa John's and Pizza Hut right next to
Oh,
each
yeah.
other."
I know it's on Knob Oak. I know exactly where it is.
Is there
I
a Little
ate there all the time.
Little Caesars down the street.
Yes, there is a Little Caesars down the street, up closer to Kempwood.
Pizza.
I want to try it, but everyone wanted me not to.
It's not my
The
favorite.
one in Galveston, I was like, "Oh, it's right there. It's hot and ready." And
But
people
why?
said
What's
things.
wrong with it? I don't
They
think
said
I've
I'd
ever
get
had
the-
it.
Just don't think it's the
Said
best
I'd
quality.
Get some stomach problems if I eat it.
I don't think that's what it is. I think there's
I
like
used
too
to
much,
love it when I was a kid.
too much bread. I don't know.
Crazy bread. They had the crazy bread.
Maybe that's
Dip
what
it
it
in
is.
that
All you gotta
sauce.
do is look up Jim Gaffigan's bit about Domino's. It's like, we got some bread with cheese. Let's add some more bread to our menu. Now you want some pasta and some bread and bread and bread. It's all just bread. So isn't every pizza restaurant all bread?
Pretty much.
That's an
pretty much
interesting
is.
concept. I wonder if you could put spaghetti on top of a pizza.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
You
good.
can do whatever you want.
Now the Costco, everyone's sending me the Costco one. They're
Which
taking the
one's that?
cheese off the pizza. They take the hot dog and they wrap it in there and then they stick it on the bun.
No, thank you.
I'm like,
no,
ugh.
thank you.
Plus, that's a waste of money. You're
Yeah.
gonna buy
No.
a pizza. The best part about the hot dog is it's $1.50.
Listen, if you're looking for some free therapy, you go stand up against that window glass of when that sauce gets hit on that crust of that Costco pizza. You will be mesmerized for 20
They
minutes.
just watch out this. It is pretty cool.
It just keeps going.
Watch on
like a
YouTube.
All right, did you miss what happened on Revenge today? It's about the office thief and not about food. It wasn't about the fridge thief. This guy's stealing other stuff at the office, and she has had it. You're going to hear her get her revenge next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.